Hi, I'm Dr. Syra,
And I'm Texas Peck.
and today we want to talk to you about getting along with people.
Yeah, kind of a big part of most of our lives. I don't know, when I'm working with people, and I don't know about you, but how many people come in and that's the
complaint.
that's the pain point. It's like
Right.
I can't do this anymore.
I can't get along with my fill in the blank. It could be my boss, could be my spouse, could be my sibling, could be my neighbor, could
Right.
be anybody really. Somebody who's like somebody who you can't really get away from. They're kind of stuck in your life,
Mhm.
but you're not getting along with them, and you're not sure what to do about it.
One of the things that I've noticed is that with people that I'm working with, often that same type of person keeps showing up over and over and over again.
Right. So then you might be able to say move houses and you don't have that neighbor anymore, but then suddenly somebody else in your life has those same qualities or characteristics. And it's like, why do I keep finding these people everywhere I go?
Well, that's a really good question. So let's try to answer that. We believe that all of things that are in your life, all the things that are in your life, have a vibrational energy, and that either attract or repel certain things.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we have backwards, I think, is that we think if we resist something, it will go away.
Push back against it or ignore it.
Right.
But, so I've seen people do both, right? I've seen people kind of push back and take a stand and have some boundaries.
Yeah.
I've also seen where people try to oh, it's not a big deal. It doesn't really bother me. It does bother them, but they're trying not to make a big deal out of it.
Right.
Neither of those works.
And coming back to that, neither of those work because they're not true.
What?
They're not true.
What do you mean?
Well, it is bothering me. I just don't know how to deal with it, right?
So you're trying to not make it bother you, but it is
and if I'm angry, I've already given away my agency. I've allowed that person to control how I am.
It doesn't feel like a choice, right?
It doesn't feel like
in
a
the
choice.
moment when the anger is in the moment.
Sorry.
When the anger comes up, it doesn't feel like I'm choosing.
It happens so fast,
to
right?
be angry,
right? But the reality is, when we slow this whole process down, and we talk about some of these concepts, and this is a tough one. I can remember when this happened to me the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I was about 25 years old, and I was working with somebody who, in a different context, gave me the suggestion that I had agency over my emotions. And I thought he was nuts. Because I just have emotions, dude.
Right, they just happen.
They just happen.
Right.
So he had said, yeah, maybe, but maybe you want to try this. And basically what he was talking about was a very, very long version of the presence protocol, which is in the book, The How, if you're interested in any of this. And it's been shortened up and made a lot easier to use. But it was, and I thought, I was so angry. I thought, man.
How dare you?
I was ready to, punch out a sign, because that always helped, right? And
punch a hole in something.
Yeah.
That's going to help my anger problems.
Nobody out there has ever experienced anything like that, but I have. And I thought, I'm going to try this process of taking agency over my emotions, and you have to have somewhere else to go.
Okay.
So I did that, and we will get into that. And it was magic. It was like I was so angry, and 30 seconds later, I was not even aware of why I had been so angry. And I was in this, what the hell?
How did that happen?
How did that happen?
So that's the first step in the presence protocol, right? Is that you actually observe, actually stop and observe what's there. And as soon as we're starting to observe that what felt like an automatic response, you're no longer in the response.
Yeah.
You're observing the response. So you get a little bit of distance from it.
You get a little bit of time.
Yeah.
A little bit of time. So we're not thinking our way. So what we're been told is, if we get into that and figure out why this person's pissing me off, and maybe
and how does it connect to my past,
trauma, and back and forth, and we go, well, wait a minute, I'm still in this contracted place trying to figure out why I'm contracted.
Right. So the first thing that we teach is to get back into alignment. So remember, there's only two states: alignment and misalignment. And because you're a sovereign being, you get to choose which state you're in. So this is the kind of part two. That's what we're talking about. Because you're a sovereign being, you get to choose. And it's uncomfortable to admit that we're in misalignment.
Yeah, and I think
because the ego really likes to have, sometimes you have a good reason to be angry, or you have a good reason to be frustrated, or whatever, right? Or you have a history with this person where they always do the same thing over and over, and you're like, well, I have every right to be. And we're not taking that away
No.
from you, but what we're saying is, does it feel good?
Yeah. Are you better when you're angry or when you're at peace? Right?
Creativity, new solutions do not come when we're contracted, when we're in that tight, responding, kind of defended place. We actually can't be creative. We can't see solutions.
And so we're using the one emotion to keep this simple, but it's all contracted emotions. So it could be guilt, could be anger, could be any of those. They're all a way that we view the world that is through the lens of self-protection.
So if we look back at our original question about like, how do I get along with these people that are difficult?
Yeah.
Right. So we're saying, okay, so maybe when these difficult people show up, you get angry. You may have some other response. If you're not liking who you are in that interaction, then maybe there's some room for a change.
And if that interests you, because we see it here every day, this is a very real thing.
Mm-hmm. We have other resources. So we have the book, right? The How is you can get it on Amazon. We also have every first Monday of the month, Monique, who's the author of the book, does a live Q&A.
For free.
For free. So if you have questions about the book, you can plug into that Q&A. And even if you haven't read the book yet, but you're interested in some of these concepts, come on in, ask your questions, and then you'll probably buy the book because like, okay, most of my questions will be answered by the book.
We have podcasts, that's another way we have all these different things. This is all we do. Mm-hmm. And it's not just Dr. Syra and I. There's a whole team behind us. We really believe that if we don't solve our reactionary lifestyle mm-hmm. and take some agency over it, then we have a lot of unhappy people. And we can look around us and see that that's happening. We're going to be doing a deeper dive into how do I deal with what's happening in the world and how do I deal with how I interact with all of it.
We'll do that on our podcast. So if this has piqued your interest, then tune into our longer podcast, which you can find on this YouTube channel and also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Thanks for showing up.
See you next time.
Bye.